what if this was actually maybe my favorite character select screen of all time? Everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. And I have a lot of those. Oh, so many fun times. Just, oh, it kind of... You know what, let's change streams. Now I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the state of BBTAG. So, let me just start by saying, I think BBTAG is in the most healthy state the game has probably ever been. I loved the Season 2 changes to this game. Mechanically, in terms of an action game, this is my favorite playing game of all time. Nothing comes close. I love this. It feels like it was made for me. It feels like 2v2 hyper fighting is my bread and butter, because Tatsunoko vs. Capcom was the game that got me into things. So 2v2 hyper fighting, really just with a fun burst system, is just made for me. Paired with a bunch of characters, some I know, some are from games I love, some from things I'm not so familiar with. But getting everything here together to just be a bunch of things I love is a thing I love about this game. So many things I love. I love having 3 assists per character. The resonance bar is so much fun. You could say, oh, I don't agree with people who say, oh, the controls are gimped. No, they're not the same as they are in the original series in each of the respective games, compared to BlazBlue, compared to Uni, obviously. But I've never considered that a problem. That's like playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and complaining that Ken isn't as complex as he is in Third Strike. You're not... In some levels, you're correct, but the thing is, you're not playing Third Strike. You're playing... Or you're not even just playing Ken. You're actually playing multiple characters. So that's one of the things you see a lot of times in hyper fighting games, team-based hyper fighting, is the controls may be simplified compared to a game that only you're playing as one character, but that's partially out of necessity because you have to hop around between so many characters. Why does KOF have 4 buttons and slightly smaller moves overall than your average Street Fighter game? Well, that's because you're playing 4 characters. A similar thing applies here, where you're taking these characters originally from hyper fighting games, that are just very fast-paced games, to apply them here. I think the transition is beautiful. I think it's fantastic across the board, and I love how all of the series mechanics are represented. They're all so unique. Like the fact that Uni characters get reverse beat. The Uni characters get reverse beat. They get reverse beat. Their air dash is an assault. I love it. And also all of the crazy stuff that this mechanic enables. Oh, it's so much fun. Like how any combo started here. No red light. I love stuff like that. You can do so many dirty stuff. Not that I'm doing right now, but so much fun. And again, I adore the roster. So many fun characters. Oh man, moving with Blake is so much fun. It's been so long since I played this game. So, my thoughts. The game balance is... Don't get me wrong, there's terrible characters in this game. If you play Yukiko Amagi, or you play Makoto, or you play Platinum, or you play Kanji, I apologize to you. But overall, I think a lot of the balance changes in this game have been really smart. They've done a lot of really good things. I approve of your dream to make a fighter of your own 50+ characters. If they're all dragons, even better. But that'll also coincide with the day I'm worth 100 million. What a day that'll be. But yeah, balance of this game, you get artist balance decisions that are really weird, but it's not terrible. You can find a top 8 with some whack character. They don't necessarily win, but they can make it pretty far. And the thing is, there's so much creativity with how you can use the roster that you can make a playstyle so completely uniquely yours. And when you're playing them both together, you can find so much stuff that just works. And the Season 2 update did so much I like. Rampage time is a goofy thing. Not all people like it. I love Rampage time. I love the new UI. I love the changes to overhead mechanics. The universal overhead. Love this goofy nonsense. I adore it.
Not bad.
And again, like a lot of the changes people have gotten, like characters like Linnea, like fun changes, like changing Linnea's 6P from being the regular Kuga to EX Kuga is so much fun. And the thing is I think this is it for BBTAG. I don't think any other content gets added. I think we are playing the final version of the game. I think this is the last version BBTAG will ever get. And that's a little bit sad because I think really it needed one more patch for a couple reasons. The first one is because whenever you launch new characters, they're never completely right away. And that applies to a lot of the new cast. It applies to Celica, that applies to Elizabeth, that applies to Hilda, that applies to so much of the cast. They just need one chance after we get them in the hands of the players to just see what you can do in a hyper-fighting game like this, to see, with a game with so many crazy options, what kind of things need adjusting. That's the thing that just, for the new characters, it needs to happen. And I think it really needs that one more patch. Just that one to get there, and I don't think it'll happen, and that's pretty sad to me. And then I'm going to air this laundry, because whenever I play BBTAG for long enough, these days it gets kind of depressing for me, and if you know me that well, you probably know where I'm going, and that's this character. Yuzuriha in BBTAG is probably my favorite playing character of any video game. I cannot think of a character more completely suited to my playstyle than Yuzuriha. Everything she has is just so much fun. The teleports, I love her buttons. Elbow, so much fun. You can do so much dirty stuff on incoming with elbow mix-up if you tie it in with this. So disgusting. Yuzuriha, so much fun. Yuzuriha is fun to me because I like to make sure that other people, when I play a fighting game, that they do not get to play. If I am playing a fighting game, my goal is to turn it into a single-player game where only I play. I can do this through a couple ways. And one of them, and usually it comes down to me being an annoying zoner. Because I don't like to have patience, I don't like to be blocking people at close range, so I like to make sure they never get there, and I can control the game and make sure they do everything. Yeah, I don't know if we've ever actually played, I don't know that we've ever played BBTAG in Season 2, actually, together. We'll need to fix that at some point, but the thing is Yuzuriha has so much fun stuff. But because she excels at being able to do movement, I think is fun. She just gets good buttons and lets me contest a lot of things. And she's essentially a god of space control. The space control on this lady is insane. From anywhere on screen, you gotta be careful. And that's what I love in zoners. And so that was when she launched in... Yeah, it was definitely before the patch. I remember playing this game at launch. My launch team was Linnea Blake.
Come on, what's wrong?
And towards the end it was a lot more Blake, because I think Blake is a lot better than Linnea. And so what happened is that EVO happened. I went to EVO. I went 2-2 in pretty much every game that year, including this one, BBTAG. And I felt really good about myself. I had a lot of fun games. And towards the end, I was starting to really feel the limitations of my Linnea Blake team. I liked it. I was having fun, but I was feeling me reaching the limits of what that team could do. And then we got the new, we got the announcements for all of the new final DLC characters, and that's super fun. We'd already kind of guessed who they were, but it was just fun seeing who they all were, seeing them all in game and doing stuff, seeing their interactions. It was really fun. And that came out a couple days after EVO. And I remember I'm going to go through everyone. I played Yuzuriha a little bit in Uni, but I stuck with Eltonum in that game. And so I switched to... So I messed around with Yuzuriha just a little bit, just casually get a couple games with the new characters, and pair them with Blake. And then I suddenly realized, oh, this character feels really good. And then the more I found stuff, the more it was just, this character was everything I wanted a character to be in any game, period. So it was so much fun just like getting time in each week just do really fun labbing sessions with BBTAG in this game with this character. Was so gratifying. And unlike Linnea, where Linnea has stuff, but it's the stuff you can get to the further skill ceiling that I wasn't able to get to with Linnea, you need a different playstyle than mine, I think. For me, it would have been a lot of work that just wouldn't have been that much fun. But Yuzu was absolutely it. Launch Yuzu had some things that were really great. Elbow is one of them. Elbow is just active for so long, it crosses up, does so much fun, it just carries so much work. Her sweep, really good, great range, lets you do so much stuff, especially since she's a Uni character, you can combo off of it really easy to just whatever you want. And her 5A and jumping A were, I'm gonna go on a hot take and say, they were the best in the game. Launch Yuzu's 5A and jumping A were the best in the game. You know a character, take Ruby for instance. When Ruby goes in the air and she wants to mess around like a mad woman, remember how no one can, it's so hard to contest her in the air? I could just shut it down just with this button. And for a lot of like ground like scramble situations, this move just blew up so much. Like you could contest Mitsuru's ridiculous 5A routinely with this thing and win. In a lot of scramble situations, it was so good. And then, you know, she's got all her fun stuff. And then the move that really gets me the zoning is this. The thing about this move is if you connect with it, you get 3 follow-ups. And what makes her super crazy and super fun in this game is she can teleport. You can teleport in one place. You can teleport behind. You can nothing personnel kid them. And the other thing that's so fun is that, so yeah, you do that, you've got zoning control for anywhere, and if you hit them, even if they're blocking, you're going to have a really hard blockable situation, and it was super strong and super fun, but it wasn't unbeatable, or it wasn't fair, and the better part is she played so nicely with my other favorite character, Blake. And she's also a higher damage character than Blake, so that helps Blake out a lot. But Blake just does so much fun stuff. It's great. It feels great doing stuff with Blake. Blake's uses assists help Blake out so much. It's been a while, so I'm dropping everything. But they helped so much. Made everything so much fun. Because Blake is my other crazy movement, half zoning, whenever weird rush down whenever I want to character. And this was a team that just together was so perfect. Like, Blake is my second favorite character in this game. She was my favorite. And then Yuzu showed up and makes me like Blake even more. And Blake's assists are just so good. And I like using Blake with Yuzuriha so much. This assist and this one. So much dirty stuff on incoming. So much disgusting stuff. And I really wanted to be the best in the world with this team. I put in lab sessions. I still have so many fun memories of just being at Hertz, my old job, Hertz Auto Rental, during the morning, just labbing session with this character. And it felt with this team. And it was so much fun. So much fun. So many fun times. And then we got season 1.5. And this is where... And when I read the initial patch notes, I read 2 things. I read increased startup on 5A, increased startup on jumping A, and changed hitboxes on those moves. And yeah, they nerfed those moves, and that was kind of disappointing to me because those were moves you could form an entire game plan around the strength of those 2 buttons alone. They were so strong. And they're still not bad. They're still probably like... She's still probably in the top 40%. I'd say she's at like the top 40% for being able to just have for these 2 buttons. Of those, of the 5A and jumping A. I think she's still in the top 40% of the cast for those, but like she's at 40%. It's like, so like, 6/10 of the cast has worse than her, and then like 3/10 of the cast has better of those than her, I think, if I had to just give a rough estimate. But Yuzuriha was given one thing I didn't realize in the patch notes because I was just reading other things right then. And that was that they had changed the properties on her air auto combo. Let me show that off real quick. Was that this move got its properties changed. So they made it combo faster and they made it do more damage. And I don't have any footage of it because I never got it caught on tape. So there's footage of me doing it in matches somewhere that you can find, I'm sure. But one of the things that was so good, but it was super powerful because you could just go into this loop. You could loop that. You could loop the air B auto combo into itself for big effect. And it was a very strong tool. It was a very strong tool. I don't know if I'd call it the strongest tool. It was in the same tool they made Akihiko a real character. In the same patch they made 9 a real character, and they just took away a couple of the tools I really liked, made them a little bit worse, and they gave me another tool that was pretty good, pretty dang good. It was really and you know, you had to change how you played a little bit, but I was still having so much fun. And then people discovered something. People started realizing, oh, and this was at the same time that they were nerfing Gordos. People were looking for other really good assist characters, and they were changing a couple things how that worked there. So people were trying to find new assist characters, and they found out, oh, Yuzu has the single best assist in the game, bar none. And that is her 6P. So, you see here, we've got about 60-ish frames of startup. That's just a rough estimate. It's about a second of startup on that move. That used to be very near instantaneous. It's so fast, covers so much distance, puts you in so much block stun. Insanely good assist. And that wasn't even the one I used most of. The one I used most of for Blake specifically was this one. Was her 5P, which has stayed the same. And her 5P, sorry, I started using more of this towards the end of season 1.5, and it was, you know, because it's a really good move, and I just didn't realize it at the time, but it's so good. And because of how good it was, it made the highest level of this game. My name is Mitsuru, who is already the queen of round start, paired with this assist, which lets me do so much stuff. And then say Mitsuru dies, Yuzu's a pretty self-sufficient character who can go for really weird mixes. Who could be self-sufficient should Mitsuru die. And it made Mitsuru such a force to be reckoned with. And it works with every other great character in the game. Akihiko Yuzu, all equally almost as just absurdly powerful because of that. So we knew that season 2 was going to come. We knew who the characters were, and we kind of figured we knew what was going to happen. They're going to tone down some of Mitsuru's shenanigans. They're going to turn down Akihiko's shenanigans a little bit. And they're probably going to get rid of Yuzuriha's 6P. You know, that makes sense. And we were all expecting that. And then I was so excited when season 2 was launching that the day when it came out, I was like glued to the eShop, just constantly waiting. And I finally got my hands on Yuzu. And, the loop was gone. The loop was just gone. And in its place was that if you do any versions of Yuzu's B auto combo, just the air version of Yuzu's B auto combo, you can go into her stance. What her stance does was it makes her 2-3-6 move more powerful, and it adds that follow-up, and it makes the teleports much faster. And that's really not great for reasons I'll get into later. And the stance itself is fine, but the changes to B auto combo are really strange to me. It's one of those classic Arc System Works situations where Season 3 Dragon Ball Fighters, we're going to buff Bardock and nerf Android 17. Why? No one knows. No one can comprehend these people. But everything else about Yuzu stayed the same. These say that, I guess her DP also got a little bit worse. Yuzu's DP when she launched was one of the best in the game, and they've made it worse every other patch, but it's still fine. That's incidental though. The changes to the P auto combo take out so much freedom from what Yuzu Riha could do before that it became really frustrating in that end. And okay, so let's time travel back. One launch Yuzu. I think she was in 1.2. Okay.
Come on, what's wrong?
She didn't have the B auto combo then. She didn't have the loop then. But she was still, it was better than what she has now. It's better than this. It wasn't nearly as good as the loop, but it still was a perfectly fine move. They just objectively made it worse. When they had an existing version, they could have just said, oops, we made a mistake, and we go back. And I would have been completely fine. No, they made it worse. But that's not even the real thing that got me with this character. So the other change they made... So remember when they changed Yuzu's 6P? I mentioned that already. You change Yuzu's 6P, and that's what it does. So it's just more startup time. As you've seen before, you've seen me use this move. If you do it in the stance version of this move remains the same. But the non-stance version of this move has the same startup as the assist version. And this was the nerf that ruined this character for me. Because effectively your zoning tool is so reactable to anybody that they can just get in the right position and just punish you anywhere. It's so insanely bad now. And here's another thing you used to use Yuzu. Remember how I mentioned that you could go for teleport mix-ups? Like say I have set into block, I can do mixy things on my teleport, and it could be really hard to deal with. But the thing is those mix-ups carried a lot of risk, where essentially you wanted to either not move much or stay in place because you're very minus after that is done. So you can do other things to mitigate it, but if you do that, you're getting punished. So you have to either A, stay in one spot to be a lot safer. If they block your mix up, you need to spend bar to be safe. And other things, because one of the things that they can do is they can DP during your teleport and probably hit you, but it creates a really interesting situation of how are they going to try and escape my situation? You were both still playing the game. Was it in Yuzu's favor? Yes, but you were still both playing the games, and once you learned to navigate that field, you had to go for different things. So it was an evolving thing throughout the match with interacting with the opponent. Is how are they going to deal with me? So how am I going to have to change? It was very interactive. It was very fun. And it was very good because you can get it A from a stray hit in the neutral. Now you no longer can because it's too slow. Or you could get into it from a block stun, of a block string. And this was the thing that really killed me. No, you can't. That wasn't real. It's not real. There's no reason to respect it. So essentially, Yuzu Riha is now average at best compared to the Unicast on block. Average at best. It's actually probably worse than that. It's not amazing on block. So she loses her advantage state from her good but fair and compromised button. So she loses her advantage state, her extremely risky, I might add, advantage state. And she loses her ability to effectively zone in the neutral. So, why would they do this? Well, my assumption is that they want you to use her stance more, and that's why her B in the air goes into a stance now. That's why, because I assume they want to make her a stance character. What does that even mean? Because her stance remains the same. The stance didn't get buffed. The stance didn't get anything new. She didn't get any new tools whatsoever. They just made her existing tool set not only worse, completely unfunctional as it had been in the entire like ethos of the character's game design up until this point. And if you think I'm being overdramatic, where are all the Yuzus? There used to be a healthy amount of Yuzu Riha players. There are a lot less of them now. If any of you remember a tweet from Shinku after this patch drops, like, where did all the Yuzus go? Shinku, the best BBTAG player in the world, Evo champion Shinku, noted, wow, all the Yuzu Rihas just disappeared. And it's because what was the character? The character was a fun, flexible, sometimes unpredictable, carrying a risk, god of space control. She was a god of space control, she could be unpredictable, she had ways to get really good unga in, and it was a really mix of all of these things. And now what does she have? She has no good ways to press her advantage. She has no good ways to press advantage. Her mix-up is neutered to the point of being gone. She wasn't given any of her 0.1 tools from her launch tools from before 0.1.5 that she lost 1.5 back. They took her B air auto combo and made it worse than it was at launch, which is fairly not great. So now what does she have? What tools were fun about Yuzu? Those were the tools. She had the space control that could let her go into tricky mix. She effectively doesn't have that. She used to have these buttons used to be gone, like they're gone. She used to have really flexible ways to combo into a good thing. She had really flexible combo routes that let you get your advantage state and run up your game plan, which again carries very big and very real risks. The more you fight Yuzu, the more you learn how to deal with. That she has options about, but they're very good, but they had very real risks. Yuzu was undeniably a very good character, and now she is mid at best. She doesn't have the crippling weaknesses of a Yukiko or a Platinum, characters who have gotten nothing the entire course of this game, by the way. She is now, I would say, bottom of mid. Because I can point to the other mid-tier characters, other characters people consider in mid, and I can say, here are the really good, interesting reasons to pick X, Y, or Z. I can't do that with Yuzu anymore. There's nothing here. There's nothing here. The Yuzu players are gone, and look at the most success I've seen a Yuzu player get was Evo Japan, where there was I forget the player's name, and I apologize, where he played Yuzu Riha Hilda in top 8, lost one, he was in top 8 losers, he used Yuzu once, lost very, 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 very badly. Yuzu was dead in 10 seconds, and then switched to other people. And he had a lot more success in the set with his Blake and Teddy. But the other thing is, so it basically made it just impossible for me to play this character, because you took this character and you essentially make playing her like moving through molasses where you just can't do anything, and none of the tools you had, none of the tech I spent week after week after week after week coming up with and learning, all of it was gone. Not most of it was gone. All of it was gone entirely. There is now, this character is just a shell of her former self, and that especially hurts because it essentially means that I also can't play Blake anymore. I had grown so accustomed to having Yuzu be Blake's go-to assist for all of this stuff. So when I do a Blake combo, I expect to have Yuzu Riha assists come out. And I've tried at other points to go in and find other characters who work with Blake as well to me, and I can't find them. They don't exist in the game. For how I played the team, I cannot recapture it, so I can't play Blake anymore. So I essentially have to switch my team. So I switched my entire team. My entire team. It sucked. And it made it really difficult for me to go back to BBTAG and to take playing it that seriously, and that hurts. I still love the game. I still love watching the game. And I don't want anyone to forget this. I think the game is in the most healthy place it's ever been. I think the game is Season 2 did so much right, but it just didn't do anything for me. And that's the part that really hurts me, is that I can't be having the same fun everyone else is. And it's part of the reason why I just wish that Arc System would give the game one more patch. I wish that Arc System Works would come back just this one time to just the new DLC characters, give Neo, give Tank, give Celica, just, you know, the tune-ups they probably need to address a couple of the top tier things. And one of the things that's just so mind-boggling is I still hold that Yuzuriha got nerfed because of Mitsuru's success. Had Mitsuru not been so dominant with this assist, I think nothing would have changed. But Mitsuru's strengths were so great that they buffed Yuzuriha. But you know the crazy thing is, the gods from 1.5, Mitsuru barely got touched. Mitsuru is still excellent. She is still the Queen of Brown Start. She still has these overhead shenanigans. She still has such oppressive normals. She's still a god in this game. But they nerfed Yuzuriha to make her fair. And that involved not just nerfing the thing everyone agrees should have been nerfed. And I completely agree. User 6P needed to get the treatment of Vegeta, of SSJ Vegeta in Dragon Ball's assist god. And it did. It's still a good assist.
Okay.
But, and we all agree, it needed to happen. But it just, it's not happening anymore. But, sorry, I was phrased poorly. Akihiko, the character who universally anywhere on screen touches you once and in the right hands just murders you, stayed exactly the same. The nuclear warhead that was Chie got even better. And that wasn't the only, like, Yuzuriha was not the only, but Yuzuriha gets crippled for the crime of being a really good assist. They destroyed not only her assist, but her as a character. And that's one of the things, is you could tell the difference between someone who is using Yuzuriha as an assist versus using Yuzuriha to use Yuzuriha. To bring it up, Brace, or was it Base? I don't remember which one, I apologize. Extremely good player. But you could tell the difference between her Yuzu and say a Yuzu main's Yuzu. Because a Yuzu main goes crazy. They go crazy in zoning, they go crazy in so many different ways, and they're so fun to do and so fun to watch too. And they're gone. But all of the top tiers who Yuzu 6P enabled stayed exactly the same, if not buffed. But Yuzuriha got nerfed into the ground, and she's not the only change I feel needs to happen. Makoto got nerfed in Season 2. Makoto in Season 1 was bottom tier, arguably worst character in the game. And then Season 2 and then 1.5 shows up. And they gave her stuff, and she was still bottom tier. And then Season 2 showed up. And Makoto got nerfed. Got nerfed! She got those new a lot of those new options taken away from her. She was still bottom tier again. So what's up with that? So there's things you need to address, like make. So like I said, I think this game just needs the one patch. I think it would be a shame for this game not to get one more patch. Just to, address a couple things. Address the madness that is Adachi and Yumi, and like just help give Akatsuki or Heart or these characters the tweaks they need, or the characters who've been bottom tier from the beginning and have said, hey, these characters need new things, and just never gotten anything. Platinum, Kanji, Yukiko are the three that pop into mind, who are just characters who need stuff. They've gotten nothing, ever. I just think, and for me personally, it's part of me saying as for, the health of the game, which it does need. But I'd be lying if I said when I say I wish BBTAG could get one more patch. I would be lying if I said it wasn't because I wanted there to be some hope that they could take user. They don't even have to give her. They don't have to give her back the loop. They don't have to give her back her assist. That they could just come in and just make Yuzu fun again. They would say, okay, never mind. We'll reverse it, and Yuzuriha will come back, and so your ambition will come back, and you'll want to be the best, the best player in the entire world with his team again. So they can just get that ambition back, and it's just a thing that whenever I play BBTAG now, when I play for an amount of time, I always get feel like, okay, my team is fine, I'm enjoying myself enough. But I wish I could do this. And I go and I try and find any way to make this work again. And I can't do it. I try to find match footage. I try to find tech. I try to find everything that I can. And it's just this wall of nothing over and over and over again. And it's genuinely heartbreaking to me that I can't do it. It's just this game that was so important to me that it's like, it's not just important to me. This is Pocatello, Idaho's fighting game. This is the game everyone in Pocatello plays, that we would grind with for hours, and we just have these long sessions. In Southeast Idaho too, like the Idaho Falls boys would come in and show up. This was the game we would play, and it still is. And it feels like I can't be part of that in the same way as I could, because my team is gone, and the new teams I can find and mess around with are just not what I want them to be. And so it's my sincere hope that I can live in a world where I can get just that one patch just that makes me like Yuzu again. It's the necessary in the fact that the game has X, Y, and Z issues that need fixing, because you won't know what needs fixing until it gets out in the wild sometimes, which was the case for a lot of the new DLC characters. Hilda needs touching up. She just does. She's got, I don't know what they want her to be, but she's got a lot of gaping issues and she needs touched up. Elizabeth, I think, is the most slept on character in the game. Even I will agree that she needs some touching up. Neopolitan, everyone agrees. Neo needs some touching up. Blitztank probably needs some touching up. Susanoo, solid, but all of these things need readjustments, and the characters from there at the beginning. But the real reason is, I guess it's my thesis, is I want to love this game as a hobby more than anything else, to just be able to just sit in the lab for hours and just find fun stuff with the team I like that reflects my playstyle. To be these two super characters with such interesting movements, such interesting normals, who control space in such a way that play together so fun to me, and I can't do that. It's not possible for me to do that anymore, and
What's wrong?
I wish it was, but it's not. So I guess that's just my thesis. I hope this game gets the one more patch, but it probably won't, because, you know, the game has been out for, Season 2 has been out for a long time now. It came out in November, and now we're in May, and nothing's happened, and now coronavirus, and the world goes on lockdown, so what can Arc System Works do? And they've probably got a lot of... They've probably got... It's getting more DLCs? I hope it is, but there's some other characters I would love to see too. Wagner would be a lot of fun, but yeah, I don't think it will. And so yeah, but and the thing is I still think BBTAG is in a better place than it's ever been again. But I don't know what the future is going to be. Like, I think EVO 2019 was going to be really the last huzzah of what this game would be at the epitome of its competitive life. I think it not being back to EVO 2020, which even now isn't happening, so that's funny, I think the last thing we're going to get is the Arc System World Tour. And, you know, I agree. Again, it's my favorite fighting game of all time. It is my favorite playing video game ever. It's in my top 3 games, maybe even top 1. It's up there with so many childhood classics of mine. And I'd love to be able to play it again and be able to enjoy the best state it's ever been in, competitively, and in terms of just being a video game and just having fun stuff to do and having an amazing roster. I would kill for that to come back. And it will for a long time, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Which is... Yeah, it's, I guess I just wanted to take this time to just air out my feelings, where I still want to commentate this game. I still want to commentate this game, watch my friends, root for people, watch things, and, you know, get people into BBTAG. It's still things I would love to do. I want to stream this game, so just get it out to as much people as possible. But, I just wish it could be the game for me like it was. it's sad that I just don't think it'll ever be that again. Is, I guess, just the dirty laundry I wanted to air out. And I didn't want to let, you know, this live stream I had to go by without talking about this thing that's probably been, I know it's ridiculous, it's probably been eating at my mind more than anything else since November. And I guess it's a weird bummer way to end my senior recital, which, yeah, fun thing, if you miss it, Genosons, as this was actually my senior recital live stream. This was just the after party where I did my senior recital for my voice, where I had to live stream from home, a lot of crazy stuff, but yeah, that's where we are now, and I just wanted to, I guess, just take this opportunity to just air it out and get it in video form about what my concerns were for this game. And yeah, so I'm actually probably going to head out, I'm going to be heading out soon, Genosons. I will be streaming this game again at some point if you ever want to play. I would love to get games in. I love BBTAG. I still want to get this game out to as many people as possible because I just want to champion this game because I love it. And that's the thing I wanted to work with. I still love BBTAG. It's still a top 3 favorite game for me. I just wish it could be what it used to be, and I would love it if we could just get the one more patch to get it there. So I guess it's a bit of a sad way to end that recital. So I just want to thank all of you who put up with my annoying rants for all of this. And good night. I just want to thank, again, all of you for, it's been a really big help for getting me through college. It's the end of all of it, so I don't know where your life's going to take me from now. I'm glad you could all be here for me, and I hope that this game can, I hope this game can also be there for me. So I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful night.